I can give a personal example of between my wife and I, if she might not be as available to me as I'd like her to be, whether emotionally or sexually. And I have this deep sense of abandonment, and I react by shutting down and not even looking at her. That's the typical response of a child abandoned by mother, not looking at the mother and feeling abandoned is how a child responds, because that not looking at her is the adaptation technique. It says, I was so badly hurt that I'm not going to make myself vulnerable again, so I will not permit myself to open again to you the same way as I ever did before. Now, when I was 11 months old, my mother gave me to a total stranger to save my life in the ghetto of Budapest, and I didn't see her. And when I did see her a few weeks later, she told me later, I treated her like a complete stranger. I wouldn't even look at her for several days. Now, 50 years later, the woman on whom I'm relying now for emotional contact, physical contact, says no. The same abandonment and the same physiological response then gets triggered. Because the perception of abandonment, which is not even conscious, the memory of it, the emotional memory of it, gets triggered, and my physiological response then is that of a child. Now, if I have a paradigm shift, if I actually get that A, my wife is not abandoning me, B, even if she was, I'm not an infant anymore who's dependent on her, and C, that perception and the emotions and physiological responses are simply a memory, then Ray can say no, and then I'll say, oh, I'm disappointed, and then go on, you know. So it becomes a completely, so in other words, my response in the present is very much based on what I've worked out about my past and what I've been able to transform